I want to do a little video in regards to health. And keep in mind, everything translates across the board, so it's going to be the same with your financial, physical, spiritual health. But using our physical health as an example, um, there's shots for just about everything these days, so you don't get chicken pox, and you don't get mumps, and you don't get this, and you don't get that. The flu shots, as an example. But the problem is, from what I've studied and come to understand, and you won't hear any of this in the mainstream, because if you look at the system of the world, they're setting it up to keep you weak and sick and take all your money. All you have to do is look at the food that we're eating these days when you walk down the aisle, and it's changing daily. Some cereals, for example, that we used to eat, now they're loaded with crap. And you have to check the box and what's in them. And it's not even what it was that we grew up with. It's not even close. They modify everything, they homogenize it, generalize it, they put hormones in it, they GMO it, the list goes on and on. They destroyed everything that we would call food. The food that we eat has to be pure and righteous the way that God created it. And these people know it. You might think I'm talking about conspiracy theory, and yes, I am. There's no question in my mind, and if you really look at the evidence, you'll know there's no question about it, because look at the food. We've had all these health problems, people are getting obese, healthcare costs have gone through the roof, and it's all happened in about the last 30 years. And if you go back 30 years ago, what changed? Well, one thing is they brought in health insurance the way that we have it these days, with all these co-pays and things like that. But the other thing they did is that's when they started changing all the food, and that's when everybody started getting sick. We have to pay attention to these things, because we are found guilty. The wisdom of God is there showing us and making us aware of it. We just don't listen to it, because it's easier to go out to eat and eat trash at McDonald's or even most of the restaurants, because they don't go and look for organic beef and go to the farmer's market to buy their tomatoes and stuff. They bring it in cans, just the same as you buy the trash in the grocery store. If you want to be healthy physically, mentally, spiritually, all three are extremely, very, very important, where you have to take care of the physical aspect, because if you're not right physically, it will affect your mind and your spirit. And if you're not right spiritually, it will affect your physical, because you won't be paying attention to what the Spirit of God's showing you, and you'll eat the wrong foods and do the wrong things. And it goes to extremes on both sides, because I also see people that are anorexic or bulimic or whatever, where they don't want to be fat, and so they do things to make sure that they don't get that way. And in a lot of cases, they eat the wrong foods. Another example, I was talking to a guy that's a personal trainer at the gym I go to the other day, and he was talking about how big some of these people were, or we were, and he said, where he goes and actually trains with his trainer, they're even bigger. And he talked about one of them that died. And the point is the human body can only be so big without it really turning on you, where you have too much weight, even if it's physical muscle, that your heart just can't take it. We can only be so big without creating problems. We can only eat so much trash without creating problems. We have to do things right, and the only one that knows the true righteousness with it all is Jesus. And unless you are right with Him and He starts showing you these things clearly, you'll do them. You have to do things right. Stay in the righteousness of God, and in everything you're eating, everything you're letting into your mind, because everything that comes into your system is designed to destroy you and keep you from God. But God has the right way, and He will show you the right way, and you will overcome. So just real quick, going back to the shot for mumps, for example, and chicken pox. One of the studies I saw, it said those that get those things have a way higher chance of cancer than those that don't. And their theory was it's because you didn't build up your immune system for the chicken pox and the mumps and things, and therefore you didn't have the right things in you that would overcome any cancer when it came at you. I agree with that to a point. I can't argue with their theory, but I want to add to it because the wisdom of God added to it, pretty much right on the spot. And that is, part of the problem is you're putting poison in your body, so you're already breaking it down with the different shots you're taking because it's not good stuff. So that is adding to the problem. And then the second problem is you already have it in your mind that you need these things, that it's okay to eat trash and you can just go get a shot when you have cancer and it'll go away, or it won't come because you got a certain shot. And because you have that attitude, you live your life in the wrong way, which then breaks down the body and allows cancer to come. We have to have the right mental attitude, and we have to fight through these short-term problems that come our way so that they do achieve for us that glory that far outweighs it all. We have to go through these short-term colds, even as tough as they can be sometimes, and let our body build up that immune system so they can't touch us anymore. And it's the same physically, mentally, and spiritually, as I've talked about over and over and over. This is just another example of it. But we have to do that. In the end, it all comes back to the same thing. We have to seek the righteousness of God and His kingdom, and then everything else is given to us. Peace.